I work in the social service field, and we just got an update on the Medicaid and SNAP changes. And boy, start with SNAP because I may have to make this in two parts. So as you know, the big beautiful bill is now a law. So this is what will be happening over the next 3 years, basically. As you know, SNAP was cut by 20%, which is the largest cut in the history of SNAP. A lot of people are going to be at risk of losing their benefits, unfortunately. So if you receive SNAP, you want to pay attention to this. So bottom line is that they are expanding work requirements. So people up to age 65 now are going to be required to work to be able to get their SNAP benefits. It was 54 before, they raised it to age 65. Also includes parents of kids that are older than 14. It used to be 18, they just reduced it to 14. So if you are a parent that is receiving SNAP for your family and you have a child that is over 14, you will now be required to work some of that time to receive those SNAP benefits. And while it adds exemptions for work requirements for American Indians and Alaska Natives, it eliminates exemptions for veterans, for people who are experiencing homelessness, and for foster youth. So now veterans, people who are experiencing homelessness, and foster youth that are of working age will now be required to work to receive their SNAP benefits. Also restricts the states, the individual states' ability to waive those work requirements in areas that have high unemployment rates or limited work. So even if you're living in an area that literally has no work for you to do or to get, you still have to somehow meet those work requirements because now states can't waive that for you anymore. Switching the burden from the federal government to states. So it will increase the burden on the states' budgets by shifting costs from the federal government to the state. It eliminates benefits for most people who are not U.S. citizens, and it limits future updates based on evolving dietary restrictions and food costs to Thrifty Food Plan, which is used to determine the maximum SNAP benefits allowed, thereby restricting overall SNAP benefit levels, meaning that they can't raise it as much as they normally did with the rise of food costs. And yeah, I think I'll do a second part for Medicaid, but at the end, I'll put a screenshot of what they gave us.
I'm fucking pissed the fuck off. They cut my motherfucking food stamps to $85 fucking dollars from $738. How the fuck that's supposed to support a household of 3? For a job that barely even support my basic needs now. Like, inflation is high and the bitch groceries is high as shit. Oh, I'm pissed the fuck off. Like, I'm mad as shit because how the fuck am I supposed to survive off that shit? So when y'all see me in the motherfucking store stealing stuff and that shit in my motherfucking bag, nicely act like you don't see shit and mind your motherfucking business, because this shit is going in my motherfucking bag and I'm walking out this motherfucking store with my motherfucking chest up and my head held high, and I dare you to try to tell me, hey ma'am, excuse me, because I'm gonna look at you like you fucking retarded and say go talk to Trump about that shit.
What a lot of men mean when they say Our Lady shows the government, because the entitlement in this video is out of this world. I know a lot of ladies like this who are single by choice with the same entitlement issues, who were taught growing up that the government is the government's job, it's the taxpayer's job to supplement their income because they have the inability or refuse to keep a man around to help them raise those kids. So it's daddy's government's job to come in, offer food stamps to keep everybody's bellies full. It's daddy's government's job to come in and supplement the housing situation and pay half the rent. It's daddy's government's job to make sure that everything is okay, right? That's choosing the state over building a community. Because when you choose to lay down, when you choose to try to have a child in this world, one of the things that you need to have a discussion about, which nobody seems to do anymore, is what y'all's goals are for these children in the future. And if you just getting your shit off with just a random man who's just trying to get a nut off, I guarantee y'all not about to have that conversation. Because if he's just trying to get a nut off, he's not gonna have that goddamn conversation with you. A lot of y'all are having babies out of one night stands. I'm not saying that's the case in this woman, or with men that y'all barely know who are not gonna help y'all raise that baby. And y'all were raised to believe that if that man don't show up, fine, I can have a baby, but daddy government's gonna come through and supplement my income. And I'm telling you, you are living in a time right now. You can blame Trump, you can blame whoever the fuck you want, where the government is tightening its belt and they're saying, fuck you. They don't care about you or those kids, or whether you go to bed hungry or not. And you can say whether it's right or wrong or whatever, but you need to consider that before you decide to bring people into this world, because it is not the government's job. It is damn sure not the taxpayer's job to take care of you and those children. And the amount of entitlement you have to say is you're going to go into a store and just start stealing shit because you can't afford to get X, Y, and Z. Instead of having those goals and projecting that to be your future, how about projecting the future of having a good, decent man come into your life to help you raise those kids? Or if you don't want a man, build a community with your girlfriends and try y'all best to pull y'all resources together and build a community so y'all can rely on each other and not necessarily the state, because the state don't give a fuck about you.
If someone you know or you depend on food stamps, pay close attention. Major changes are coming under Trump's big beautiful bill. Let me break down what's changing, when it starts, and how it could affect your SNAP benefits. Now here's the timeline. October 1st, 2026, state will begin tightening SNAP eligibility. That means stricter income checks, faster recertification, and more documentation just to stay qualified. Now on December 31st, 2026, the new work rule begins. If you're 19 to 64 and don't have a documented disability, you will need to work, volunteer, or be in some type of job training at least 80 hours per month to keep your benefits. This applies to parents of school-aged children. Unless you have a baby or a toddler at home or some type of medical exemption, you will be expected to meet those work requirements too. Now, October 1st, 2027, states that make too many mistakes managing the SNAP program will face financial penalties. For example, New York had one of the highest error rates in 2023. Under the new law, they could be forced to repay up to 15% of program costs, which could result in title enforcement for everyone. This isn't to scare you, it's to prepare you. If you're able-bodied, now is the time to plan ahead. These changes are real. They are coming. Stay tuned. Like, follow, share for the next updates. I will definitely keep you guys informed.
Food stamps are next to be gone. People are going for their appointments and being told to reapply. People are getting letters in the mail said you're cut off. And they're telling these people that you hadn't been working in so long, so you're cut off. Now you have to reapply. What I don't get is a lot of the people that get food stamps can't work. So how do they expect these people to work and get the food stamps? And even if they do work, everybody I heard from gets maybe $15 a month of food stamps. So it really doesn't pay to collect it if you're working. And they make the eligibility so hard that you can only make this X amount of money to be able to receive the food stamps. So they just making shit harder and harder and harder for people every day. If you're not in that 150 grand a year bracket, you're done. You can't make it.
Let's talk about why people getting cut off of food stamps don't just affect people on SNAP, that it affects all of our asses. When people lose access to food, it causes desperation. And desperate people make desperate choices. If you ain't never had to worry about where your next meal gonna come from or how the hell you gonna feed your kids, and all of a sudden you do, imagine what you will or won't do. Imagine that kind of pressure. It is going to push people towards things that they would never normally do. Crime is going to rise, theft in grocery stores is going to go up, and people who ain't never had to live off of beanies and weenies and oodles and noodles, they might just themselves over this. And guess who's going to cover those costs? And I'm not just talking about the higher prices at the register. I'm talking about the peace of mind. I'm talking about having to dash your ass to your car with your grocery bags out of fear that somebody's going to knock your head off for a loaf of bread. It's not about hunger. It's about survival. And when survival is threatened, then the community pays the price. So when you think that food stamps being cut doesn't affect you, think again. A hungry neighbor creates ripples that affects us all. But comment below, what do you think? Should we be cutting, supporting, or finding better solutions?
So Donald Trump and the food stamp office really played in my face yesterday, because why was the food stamp app saying that I no longer qualify? Oh, my case doesn't exist. All these red little pop-ups and messages. I couldn't get into the Connect EBT portal. I damn near had a heart attack. Because what the heck? I have 2 kids and I work part-time. Why would my benefits be getting cut off? That doesn't even make sense. So I'm like, you know what? First thing Monday, I'm going down to the office, or I'm calling my caseworker, or I'm going down there and figure this out, because it doesn't make sense. Then come today, Sunday, everything's back up. My case is back open. Everything's back up. The app is back to normal. The Connect EBT portal is back to normal. My benefits are coming, and all this, everything's back on. Can y'all stop playing in people's face? Like, stop. Just stop. It's not funny. It's not cute. Like, I'm really getting tired of this administration. Don't ever play on my top like that. Like, I have a lot of patience, but cutting off the EBT, that's where I draw the line. That's where I draw the line. Stop. Stop doing that. Fuck Trump all 2025.
My kids have not eaten in 5 days. It is the taxpayer's responsibility to take care of my kids.
Trump done cut them food stamps off.
If you're poor, don't have kids, okay? If you're struggling, don't have kids. Don't bring more in. If you already have them, that's another situation. If you don't have them, don't bring any in. And if you have 2, don't go having another one. If you have 1, don't go having 2 more.
So they say 2 million is getting cut off this month for the scamps. I'm about to go find out if I'm in that number, in that ratio.
It's been day 5 and I have not received no food stamps. My disability checks is on hold. My cash benefits is not coming no more. They're still pending. It is the taxpayer's job to pay for my kids to eat and for my kids to be taken care of. I have over 2,000 followers on TikTok and I can't get not one person to send me 50 cents. If you're watching a video and you can't send me nothing, I'm blocking you.
You know, people are out here scrambling, asking, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Take your butt to work. Let's get into this video.
Maybe when people be like, girl, how you get food stamps? I wish I get food stamps. Bitch, you better start lying.
This lovely lady went on TikTok telling her followers to lie so they could qualify for food stamps. As you guessed it, it caught up to her. Her food stamps were cut off, and she now supposedly owes $35,000.
Lady called me and said, ma'am, I said, yes, ma'am. She gonna say, what's your address? I said, ma'am, I don't have no address. I've been homeless for 3, 4 or 5 months. I have nothing. My family won't let me stay with them, ma'am. I'm starving. While I'm kicked back in a motherfucking 3-bedroom and everything, living lovely. Then she gonna say, ma'am, what's your job title? I'll say, ma'am, they won't hire me anywhere. I don't have no job. I've been putting application after application. It's just like nothing works. Yeah, that lady was on the phone. She said, ma'am, I'm so sorry for all of this that you're going through. She said, we just shipped your card out. You should have about $1,000 on your card from last month and this month, and your balance and your payment every month is gonna be $300. That I got on TikTok telling y'all about the food stamps. Do y'all remember that time I got on here and told y'all about the food stamps? Why the fuck did they turn my food stamps off? And I gotta pay back $35,000. They turned my food stamp off and I gotta pay back $35,000. Now I'm fucking aggravated because how y'all didn't know I was playing on here? Y'all just running with shit. But them motherfuckers really turned my goddamn food stamps off and I have to pay them back $35,000. I don't know where the hell I'm gonna get $35,000 from, but I have to pay them back. So y'all, watch what y'all put on the internet because everything is not for the internet.
My food stamps just got cut from a little over $3,000 a month to $800 a month, and I'm pregnant with my 9th child, and I genuinely don't know how I'm gonna pay the grocery bill. The money we saved by having the government pay for our groceries, we were using to pay for our mortgage. But now, if we're going to have to use our mortgage money to eat, I don't know how we're going to make it. It's not possible for me to go out and get a job right now because I'm pregnant with my 9th child and it's currently summer break. So if I were to get a job, I would have to send all 8 of my other kids to daycare, which I can't afford, and I don't have any like marketable skills to where I can make a job that would be paying more than the daycare cost. I have 6 different baby daddies and I've tried going to all of them to ask for more child support, and only one of them has offered to give me an extra $100 a month, which like I'm grateful for that, but it's not enough to take care of all of my kids. I'm planning on taking the baby daddy that I know makes the most money back to court to see if I can get a little bit more of his income, but I can't afford to take every baby daddy back to court to get more money. So I'm in such a bind right now.
If I can't drive a BMW, how you gonna drive a BMW and you getting food stamps too? Or you living in this house and I can't do it and drive a BMW. So that's all that is. But you know who that is? That's somebody who know your business. Because if people don't know your business, they can't do it to you. So that's somebody that you done call friend and told your business to, because they know what you're doing. And nobody else would know. If you keep folks out your business, they won't know how much food stamps you're getting.
Okay. How am I supposed to feed 6 kids on $38? Okay. All right, thanks. Bye. Oh my God. Our food stamps just got cut from $4,300 to $38. How the hell do they expect $38, not even $40? That's not even going to cover freaking one meal. You're going to have to go get a second job.
I'm not getting a second job.
Yeah, well, what are we going to do then?
You're going to get a job.
Women don't work.
Yeah, they do. A lot of them do.
No, they don't. Only lazy and selfish women work. It is 2025. I should not have to work. You're just going to have to go get a second job.
Even if I did that, you complain about that.
Okay, well, we're going to have to do something because $38 ain't going to feed 6 kids every month.
Trump has cut my food stamps down from $2,800 down to $350. Okay, my previous video of me trying to expose all this corruption going on in the Trump administration, I got nothing but a bunch of hate for it. Everybody telling me go get a job, go do this. You know, I'm lazy, I'm useless. But at the end of the day, none of you guys know my situation. Okay. Most of you guys have never been probably lower class or ever been poor or ever been through any kind of rough situations. Okay, and most of you probably don't got 5 kids, and I've got 1 on the way. That's the issue. And if I need some help from the government, then what's the issue of me getting some fucking help? I mean, that's the big thing here, is like everybody's always talking about, oh yeah, we need to help the lower class, but now that I'm getting help, and then it literally all gets taken away. Now everybody's got a problem with it, and it literally makes absolutely no sense, makes no fucking sense, man. And I seriously, I mean, I'm not even sure what I was trying to get out of that last video, other than just trying to expose all this corruption going on. But I don't know. I mean, it's I don't know. It's stupid.
So I'm going to speak on the topic of the food stamps that, everybody posting about. A lot of single parents, they are upset about it because their food stamps have been. This is just my think piece on it because, like I said, it doesn't have anything to do with who voted for who. But this has been my mindset since my early 20s. Now, I am not no better than any other single mother out there. My kids are now grown. They're about to be 21 and 19. I just turned 40 this. I was on food stamps and I was on Section. The thing about it is I worked as a CNA full-time and I still qualified for those assistance. Now, let's rewind the clock back when I was getting food stamps, Section 8, and my daughter was also getting SSI because as an infant, she was diagnosed with pulmonary hypertension. So my daughter was getting a check. I had just moved to the coast. And I think, after me and my neighbor, was having conversations and I told her about my daughter getting SSI. And you know what the first thing that she said that came out of her mouth? She was like, well, if she getting SSI and you on Section 8, you getting food stamps, why are you working? Now, this was my think piece in my early 20s. I said, because the government can take that stuff anytime they get ready. They can cut her check off anytime they get ready. They can cut the Section 8 off at any time when they get ready. They can cut the food stamps off at any time when they get ready. So me, I always held down a job. Now, yes, like I said, I was that parent with no support system. I was working night shift at the hospital. And my kids, when they got a certain age, because I lived 2 minutes away from the hospital, they was at home by themselves at night. Call me what you want. I don't give a damn, but I did what I had to. And on my lunch breaks, I would come and check on them. They was in bed. They got themselves off to school. Now, I'm not in any way saying that that was okay for me to do, but I did what I had to do. Me working night freed up time in the daytime. If they got sick at school, all they had to do was call me. I can go get them. If my kids had appointments or if I had doctor's appointments, I could just take them. I don't have to take off of work or none of that. So I'm not promoting leave your kids at home. We always latchkey kids coming up. But what I'm saying is, as parents, we gonna do what we have to do to survive. So y'all out there, I know it's jobs out there. Like I said, I ain't judging because I had got the assistance, but I have always, and there are so many ways of getting a bag. By me working as a CNA for as long as I have been working, and I started TikTok Shop back in 2023 when it first started. When I say TikTok Shop, not only was I able to completely just pay my bills and my checks just be my checks, because yes, I still work that. It has helped me put my daughter through school. Now, I know we're still on probation with TikTok, and I'm going to grind it out until I can't grind it out no more. But I'm just here to say, y'all, do what y'all got to do for y'all kids. Go to work, try to find a work from home job. I know it's not going to be easy, especially for work from home jobs, but there are options.